Are you ready to explore the most terrifying places in the United States? From haunted houses to eerie forests, these locations are not for the faint of heart. Let's dive into the top 10 scariest places to visit in the US. I'm Joe, and I'm your guide into the dark heart of America's most haunted locations. We're going to uncover the history, the stories, and the evidence that proves these places are truly gateways to another realm. Get ready to confront the unknown. Let's go. Our first stop takes us to the heart of the Rocky Mountains, to a grand hotel that overlooks the breathtaking yet isolated landscape, the Stanley Hotel. This is no ordinary hotel. Built in 1909, the Stanley Hotel has borne witness to its fair share of darkness. Guests have reported seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, and experiencing unexplained cold spots. The most haunted area is said to be the fourth floor. Room 418 is particularly notorious. People claim to wake up in the night to find children standing at the foot of their beds, their eyes glowing an unnatural white. The energy there is palpable, heavy, oppressive, like something is watching you from the shadows. Some say the ghosts of the Stanley Hotel are harmless, just echoes of a bygone era, but others believe there's something more sinister lurking beneath the surface. Are you brave enough to spend a night there, knowing that you might not be alone? We leave the grandeur of the Stanley Hotel and journey to a place of confinement, a place where the air is thick with the weight of suffering and despair. Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia. This former prison, once at the forefront of penal reform, is now a decaying monument to man's inhumanity to man. For nearly 150 years, it held within its walls some of the most notorious criminals in American history. Now, it's said to hold their tormented souls. Visitors and investigators have reported all manner of paranormal activity within the prison's crumbling walls. Disembodied whispers, shadows that dart in and out of your peripheral vision, and the feeling of being watched. Cell Block 12 is particularly active. It's a place of intense darkness, where the air is thick with a sense of dread. It's said that the spirits here are angry, vengeful, and eager to make their presence known. Eastern State Penitentiary is not a place for the faint of heart. We leave Eastern State Penitentiary and set sail on the Queen Mary. But this is no ordinary cruise ship. Launched in 1934, the Queen Mary has seen it all. One of the most haunted areas is the first-class swimming pool. Stateroom B340 is so haunted, it's sealed off. Some say the Queen Mary is a vortex for paranormal activity. Are you ready to set sail on the Queen Mary? From the vastness of the ocean, we venture to a place of suffering and despair. A place where hope went to die. Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Kentucky. This former tuberculosis sanatorium is considered one of the most haunted places in America, and for good reason. Imagine yourself walking the halls of Waverly Hills. The air is thick with the smell of disinfectant and decay. The fifth floor is said to be the most haunted. It's where the most severe cases were kept, and where many patients breathed their last. People have reported seeing shadow figures, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling cold spots. There's a story of a nurse who worked on the fifth floor, a young woman named Mary Lee. She contracted tuberculosis from one of her patients and ended up a patient herself. She died in room 502, and now her spirit is said to roam the halls, still trying to care for the sick and dying. Waverly Hills Sanatorium is a place of immense sadness and tragedy. It's a place where the spirits of the dead linger. We move from the despair of Waverly Hills to the elegance of the Old South, to a plantation steeped in history and shrouded in mystery. The Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana. This grand old mansion has seen its share of darkness, from tales of forbidden love to brutal murders. Imagine standing in the shadow of its massive oak trees, their branches draped in Spanish moss, like ghostly fingers reaching out to touch you. They say that at least 10 people have been murdered within the Myrtles Plantation's walls, their souls unable to find peace. One of the most well-known stories is that of Chloe, a slave who was hanged from a tree on the property. Her spirit is said to roam the plantation, her eyes glowing an eerie green in the darkness. Visitors have reported seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling cold spots. The Myrtles Plantation is a place where the past refuses to stay buried. It's a place where the spirits of the dead walk among the living. From the elegant decay of the Myrtles Plantation, we travel to a house unlike any other. a labyrinth of Victorian architecture and unsettling energy. The Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. This sprawling mansion with its twisting hallways, staircases that lead to nowhere, and doors that open to brick walls, is a testament to the eccentricities of its former owner, Sarah Winchester. Sarah Winchester, the heiress to the Winchester rifle fortune, believed she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by her family's firearms. She built this house as a way to appease them, adding on rooms and passageways in a desperate attempt to confuse and trap the spirits. People have reported seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling cold spots. The Winchester Mystery House is a place where logic and reason are suspended. It's a place where the spirits of the past are always watching. We leave the confines of the Winchester Mystery House and journey deep into the heart of Tennessee, to a place where darkness dwells and legends come alive. The Bell Witch Cave. This is no ordinary cave. The story of the Bell Witch is one of the most enduring and terrifying ghost stories in American folklore. It centers on the Bell family, who in the early 1800s were terrorized by an unseen entity that called itself Kate. Kate was relentless. She would pinch, scratch, and slap family members. She would move furniture, make noises, and even speak in different voices. The cave on the property is said to be a portal to the spirit world, a place where Kate's energy is still palpable. People who have visited the cave have reported hearing disembodied voices, feeling cold spots, and even being touched by unseen hands. The Bell Witch Cave is not a place for the faint of heart. It's a place where the line between legend and reality blurs. From the depths of the Bell Witch Cave, we travel to a small town in Iowa, to a house frozen in time and terror, the Valisa Ax murder house. This unassuming White House holds a dark secret within its walls, a secret that has haunted this community for over a century. On a warm summer night in 1912, someone entered this house and brutally murdered 6 members of the Moore family, along with 2 young guests. The murder weapon? An axe. To this day, the case remains unsolved. Imagine standing in the very rooms where the murders took place. The air is thick with the weight of tragedy, the silence broken only by the sound of your own breathing. The Valisa Ax murder house is a place where time stands still. The belongings of the Moore family, even the clothes they were wearing on that fateful night, are all still there, preserved as they were found. Visitors have reported seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling cold spots. Some have even claimed to have seen the ghostly figure of a man carrying an axe. We leave the chilling silence of the Valisa Ax murder house and journey to a place where echoes of madness and misery linger. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia. Once home to thousands of patients, it's now a decaying monument to a dark chapter in history. Patients faced horrific treatments like lobotomies and electroshock therapy. Walking these halls is like stepping back in time. Visitors report apparitions, disembodied voices, and cold spots. The line between sanity and madness blurs here. Our final destination takes us back in time to the summer of 1892, to a quaint house in Fall River, Massachusetts, where a gruesome crime shocked the nation, the Lizzy Bordon house. This is the house where Andrew and Abby Bordon were brutally murdered with an axe, and their daughter Lizzy became the prime suspect. Lizzy was acquitted of the murders, but the question of her guilt or innocence has haunted this house ever since. Walk up the front steps, past the same gas lights that illuminated the street that fateful night, and feel a chill run down your spine. Step inside, and you're transported back to the Victorian era. The furniture, the decor, even the air itself seems trapped in time. Visitors have reported seeing apparitions, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling cold spots. Some have even claimed to have seen the ghostly figure of a woman in a blood-stained dress. The Lizzy Bordon house is a place where history and horror collide. So, there you have it. 10 of the most terrifying places in the United States. 10 places where the veil between our world and the other side is thin, where the spirits of the dead walk among the living and where fear reigns supreme. Think you have the courage to visit any of these places? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling content. Until next time, stay spooky.